You are now listening to the Serious Growth Podcast with your host, Leo Costa Jr.
Hey, this is Leo Costa coming to you from SeriousGrowth.com. Today on the show, we have Michelle Brent. Michelle, how are you?
Hey, fine, great, awesome.
Before I get started, I have to tell you, and mind you, I've been in the sport I've actually been in the industry just a little bit longer than you. You've been in it 35 years, I see.
Yeah.
I tell you, I've seen your photos. My goodness, those are impressive. And I have to tell you, that's a gross injustice, because that's an amazing, and a lot of people don't really understand. We'll get into that. All that goes for the sake of what you've done. Wow, I'm just blown away by that.
Yeah, thank you. And just real quickly, I am going to get back on stage too, so we'll talk about that too.
Yeah.
So
I see that in your bio. You do various things. One of them is that I see that you're actually helping people prep for shows. And do you do a lot of those, or just here and there?
You know what? I had my own little gym. You're talking, 1996, and I did a little bit. Since I'm a competitor and I had my degrees in physical education and whatnot, I didn't want to do the teacher thing, so it was just I fell right into it when I got into the sport. And it's mainly I do is the coaching of posing. So I'm actually technically a posing coach and / choreographer, because that's my forte. Yeah. I can do a full prep. I've done full preps, but I'm very specialized in doing that part of it.
I've done both those too, because when I came through, it was important to be able to choreograph a routine, because that you'd win like points and get like best poser in the event.
Correct.
I haven't seen that now. And the last time I came out of retirement and started, competing again, it was just like these people were just moving willy-nilly to the damn music. And I thought, what the hell is going on here? But I think, I've helped people too, but I think that I'd rather be a posing coach.
Yeah, it's actually coming back, because everyone's a coach now. I mean, we won't get into, I don't know if we want to get into that stuff, but everyone's a coach. And after they do one show, they're just like, like a coach and a posing coach and nutrition and blah, blah, blah. So anyway, the posing is so, so important, because in the past, I have probably lost close battles with, getting my pro card years ago from not doing, just a little tweak of a pose, especially in your mandatories. And that's most important in the morning. The night show is the fun thing, but it's still fun to entertain. And that's what I do. I love entertaining. I swear, I got on this stage 1985, first time. Okay. I'm not going to say what my age is, but we can if we want. Anyway.
So 29, you said that already.
No, I'm 26. Remember, we can reverse the numbers if you want.
I don't hear very well, but go ahead. 1985.
Okay. So 1985. So anyway, I was like, wow, I'm going to get in front of these people. I'm so self-conscious of how I look. I'm going to get in a freaking little bikini and like do these poses. So when I found out that you could do like this, fun stuff at night, I said, oh, hell yeah. So I fell in love with that. And the rest is history. I love that part of it, the entertainment part. And I didn't even win my first show. I was like, whatever, back then you're just kind of like so naive. And, but it's a big difference how you pose.
Well, it's like in every other sport. It's a game of inches. And the higher you start going up against better competition, you got to make sure that you pay attention to all that little stuff.
I tell you, I mean, I, as I said just a bit ago, I'm going to resurge myself and get back on stage. This is another subject we could broach about women's bodybuilding coming back to the Olympia. Never went away, and I'll explain that too. But I just love it. So I'm going to get back, and it's like, okay, I'm doing my entertainment part, but the mandatory part is what I really have to concentrate, and anyone else to get past the judges to get your first or second place. So
I was really influenced heavily by Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he did some I forget the name of the short film that he did. Maybe it was Stay Hungry, one of those. But the first one. Yeah, how he went to, he enlisted a ballerina to help him with the posing.
Right.
One thing that stood out in my mind from that was he said, you have to realize that you're not only on stage and being seen when you're actually doing the pose, but they're also watching you when you're transitioning.
Exactly.
And right?
Yeah.
And stuff like that makes a difference.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head, the transitioning, because, oh my God, like you were saying earlier, these, especially the men, they're like,
It's like,
yeah, you know,
it's awful.
And so now I'm so excited, you know, to, you know, continue what I'm doing. And as I was saying earlier, I have a young kid in the nationals, and literally tomorrow, I'm going to go to Connecticut and work with this posing and more the transitioning, and if he wants me a little bit with his routine at night. But the entertainment thing is so much fun. I mean, I even did a couple of men's, and as a matter of fact, I just did one this year. He's a pro, Josh Wade, his name is, from Sacramento, and he is moving up the ranks. But his friend slash client, who was a client of mine in posing, said, "Hey, Josh, you got to step it up here. I mean, you're like," he was a robotic man.
Yeah.
So I had seen my sister who lives up there, and went to his gym to train there and talk to him and her. And he goes, "Michelle, let's do it. Let's go for it." So I did a men's pro bodybuilding routine. He didn't make the Olympia this year, but I did it for the Toronto Pro for him and for the Chicago Pro. So I'm like, yes.
Nice.
It's so much fun to work with the men because it's more of a challenge, you know. And he nailed it.
Yeah.
He nailed it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh wow, because he did it was a rock song, Death Finger, 5 Death Finger or something. That's what band's called.
Yeah.
And the song was slower, but it was just the words were amazing. So I did like this posing coming down. And then we did Terminator.
Yeah.
And he killed it. I got him to do like, just different poses. And at the end, he did the thing going down. It was great. I was like,
You know,
so anyway,
what I realized, I don't know about you, but when I got more command of me being able to pose and I knew I was good at it, of course, you only get good at it when you do a lot of hours and a lot of repetitions.
Yes.
That's when I actually had the most fun, because at that point, maybe this makes sense to you. Like in athletics, when you first get into something, the sport or the game seems really fast. It's like I remember the first time I competed. Shit, I don't even remember being up on stage doing the posing. But later on, when I really had command of that, I really enjoyed going slow and just that was part of the fun for me. But what you're saying as far as the competition itself, you're right. The pre-judging, that's where the show is won.
Right.
So you really have to nail those mandatories.
Those mandatories, yeah.
So your highlights and minimize your weaknesses. Hugely important. We know that. So I totally can relate to you.
Go ahead.
What I wanted to ask you is, this is part of what you do. I just got a big kick out of it. Michelle's Magic Morsels. Really? What the hell? Tell our viewers about that. Anyone. What the hell is a magic morsel? Is it like weed or something?
I don't have any here. I gotta send you some. Once I set up my kitchen, because I have my own. I might outsource the kitchen if I have a big, batch. But I've been doing these cookies way before Lenny and Larry, way before whoever who's doing them now, Quest, but I was doing them at the time, and I don't know if you remember this fellow named Chef Jay. He was Trioplex. His cookie was Trioplex. Oh, yeah. Chef Jay in Vegas. And the story behind Jay was his friends were into fitness. He goes, "Hey, Jay, make us something sweet, but with protein and something good. That I'm sick of these, So he came up with one of the first cookies called Trioplex. And that was in the mid-90s. And then I got the idea because I used to work for a bakery, a cookie bakery. It was something like a Mrs. Fields. Yeah. So I said, God, I love to bake. Let's try this. So I was playing with the recipe. This is you're talking 96. Yeah. And then I said, in 97, then 2000, I gave it a little try again. And then when I moved to Philly, was the first East Coast city I lived in with my husband, Bill. He goes, why don't you give it a shot? And so I started it, and he's Mr. Corporate guy. And I'm like, not Martha Stewart, she's corporate. I'm like Ms. Layback housewife, okay? I'm like, I don't even want to go corporate. I'll have this, there'll be a good little recipe. I'll sell to locals. And so that's where it started. It's a protein cookie. And it was it was way before, like I said, Lenny, they're big and they're all over the world now, but I didn't want to, and I could have done that, and I just didn't. So I still do it. It's been since 2007, and they're yummy because I make them with my tender, loving little fingers.
That makes a difference. There's a lot of love in there. Hey, I want to what's the breakdown on that as far as the protein versus carbs and fat?
They're about a 3-ounce cookie. Remember how Lenny and Larry got in trouble because they would say their cookie was 110, but they were divulging it was half, but it was misleading because people thought it was the whole cookie. Yeah. So it's about almost close to a 3-ounce cookie. I don't have one. I wish I had one here. I have the paper, not with the label, but I do the label, everything. Anyway, to the point, the breakdown is, say a chocolate chip one is about 10 grams of protein, 10 to my carbs, because it's mostly a carb. Let's face it. I mean, I do an unbleached flour, oats, and that's about 20, 25. And the fat's about, 8, 9, 10, maybe 10, 11. It depends about what kind of sugar I use. Now, this is the beauty about mine because I can custom it just like I custom my jewelry, and we'll get to that later.
My list here.
Yeah. So, but I can custom it. Like, say someone wants, I want vegan. I want plant-based. That's the latest, greatest, genre, plant-based. I'm like, really? Get the, I feel like saying, what? Like, get the hell, whatever, plant-based, But I'm like, I don't go with the Joneses, I'm like, what? I'm not going to do a plant-based cookie because it tastes like crap.
Yeah. Do you do a cookie like for keto?
I can. It's really hard because, like I said, some of it has to bind with some sort of carb. But I was playing with that. I could do it now. What do people normally don't like? Well, the gluten-free is kind of a norm. Dairy-free. Oh, yeah. So I do have egg substitute because I do egg whites, not the whole egg. And I played with that with a few customers, and I use kind of like a substitute. Now the keto one is a little harder.
Yeah, because you have that fat. Fat is the main energy in that particular.
Exactly, that diet.
What would you use like in a cookie like that?
I wouldn't even know. Let me think about that one because you have to have.
But interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Then I do. Wait a minute. No. Then I do now because I didn't have time for my cookies in the last month. I've been doing these cookie bites, which they're a little rolled one, and it's those are like you pop them in your mouth. You don't even have to cook them. They're like oatmeal, whey, peanut butter. It's not peanut butter. It's almond butter. I use is the source to keep it, like sticky and
You're
together.
Making me hungry. By the way.
I know. Is it lunchtime there? I know. So those are my latest greatest. Those are my BB bites. So Michelle's Magic Morsels and BB bites.
That's cool. And your bracelets. Yeah. You also do bracelets. So
my God.
How did you get into that?
Number one, here's my necklace. Check that bad boy out.
Okay.
Okay, I got into this. Here's the one here with the chain. So this is my chain gang design. Then I mainly do the beaded. Now this one, I'll give you the story about this one particularly, but I got into it by a friend of mine. She's in her 30s now. She was 19 when she got into the sport. She got her pro card too. But Aaron, I saw on Facebook. I go, Aaron, these are pretty cool. And they were just a basic onyx and hematite, which is for energy and healing, all those stones. And I have those stones here and this one. But so I go, okay, she have the little Hamza hand because that's the latest, greatest, thing that people like, even though it's the Hamza hand has got its origins in Israel, but it does have meanings for every other, denomination of people with spirituality. Anyway, to the point. So I go, let me have 2 of them. I'll buy them, give you, support her. I go, how much you want? She goes, 30 a piece. So she sends these bracelets, and they're cute. They were, like I said, the onyx. They didn't have the dumbbell. They were just the little Hamza hand. So one day in a cup, my husband, he didn't tell me. It's like in the kitchen, on top of the microwave, the cup with all the beads. I go, what the freak is that? What happened? He goes, mine broke. He's so laid back. I go, what the hell? So I said, well, let me see. It's just stretch bands. So Amazon's my friend. We have stock in it and all. I bought the stretch band, made it and fixed it. Thought, oh, hell, this is fun. Because I always was creative. I thought, this is fun. Shit. I text her, call her. Hey, Erin, are you going to run with this? Because I am. I said, I'm making a business out of this. And that's it.
There you go.
Funny, my friend. Yeah.
It's funny how you get into certain stuff, you know?
It's crazy. And I loved it. And it didn't, like I said, didn't start with the fitness ones. It was just, you know, pretty, mainly the onyx and hematite, like the stones, the semi-precious stones, the lapis, carnelian. There's so many. Beautiful, some beautiful.
I know.
And then I thought, go ahead.
No, I know it's a creative act, but I have to ask you, because I think about you. Do you actually string all these beads on the string?
Yes. This is like
that would drive me fucking crazy.
Oh no, you should see this. Look at this one. This one actually is more work. This is actually beautiful.
I know.
It's
to help you, like, is it therapy or what? What the hell? For me, it'd be.
I don't know. It's like, and then I get all intent. Look at this one now. Now I got more creative because, hey, who needs a class anymore? I go to YouTube.
Yeah, no kidding.
This one's good. These are great Christmas presents, everybody.
Okay, no, that's really good. So is this part of the way that is this like side stuff that you do to make extra money on?
Yeah. That's what I said. I said, you go, why not? So what I do now, because there's really, you know, what am I going to do? I don't really have a store, you know, all that, you know, the storefront and all that. So I do now, I went full circle with competing with, of course, helping other competitors. Now I do the booths at shows. Mainly I was contracted with John Lindsay with the muscle contest in Cali. Yeah. So I'm coming back in December, so maybe I could meet up and say hi ho to each other.
Let me know. I actually competed at his events. So John,
he finally retired, and his I think it's his daughter, because she goes by Lindsay Elgindi, but the Elgindi brothers took it over, and they're everywhere now. They're in India, Indonesia, Vietnam. Yeah, they really brought it here in the West Coast, on the West Coast. But they have a new show called the Masters Pro Masters USA to turn professional out there next month. So I'll be there. Yeah, and I'll have a booth.
Yeah,
I will.
Yeah, so I'd like to meet you face to face. I like that. People how about seminars? Do you do many seminars?
What I do mainly, and just before I left, another thing, but they call me Martha Stewart of bodybuilding. The Be Lifted, Be Lifted there is a friend of mine who was a client. She was a posing client, and beautiful, half Samoan, half Filipino, if you could believe that combo. Wow. She's gorgeous. She's got the big legs, but not like huge, but she's perfect. So anyway, she says, oh, Michelle, I'm opening, and she's already a nurse, and she does makeup, and she's got all these things she does. And she goes, oh, I'm opening up a gym. I go, a gym? And she's like been in the sport like 2 years. I said, yeah, my husband says, I love it. Why not? So he supported her, and they started a personal training gym in Fullerton. Oh. And right before I left, I just went, I'm her go-to pro. I'm her, resident pro, which, now I'm out here, but she's got my posters there and everything. And she had a beautiful room. And I started doing all my posing and seminars out there, and my posing, mainly at posing clinics. Yeah. I had done them in the past. I did a couple in Connecticut before women's physique, that other category got big.
Still learning about it, by the way.
Physique, and there's a new one I could talk about too. It's called wellness. Oh, it's another animal, but the physique they didn't know how to. This was 2010. They didn't know how to do the poses. They had the MPC had it in its rules, and it was like, okay, well, I know I was doing those kind of poses, way back when. Yeah. So I did the first women's seminar out there. More or less, not summer, but posing clinic. Yeah. Now I'll be involved with the new one out here. Not so much speaking, but just have a booth, and maybe in the future, because I'm sure we're going to be here for a number of years. A girl named Sean, I forget her last name, but she's not little, she's big, tall. I have to be pro bikini, and she had a great idea 5 years ago that she started a seminar for the women. To women only, to teach them how to, the whole 9 yards, how to get on stage, makeup, hair, posing, the psychological part, the nutrition. So she's having her next one here in Virginia. So I doing that too. So I do a little of everything.
Yeah, back when, Coach, I'm sure you've heard of Tom Platz.
Oh yeah, I mean I know them all. I never met him. I met know Lee Priest. I know Sean Ray, of course.
I did a video with Lee Priest, and
he's a character.
Oh God,
I used to know his ex-wife, Kathy.
Yeah,
she's another story. But
he was a trip.
Yeah.
But back then, it was really popular to do seminars. I mean,
yes, they're still doing them.
Yeah, Platz was like the highest earner when it came to seminars. That's where he made money.
Well, you know what? It's because they were at the right place, at the time. And the supplement business. Oh my God, it's $1 billion business, and it's like now all these top pros have supplement. Gaspari, Labrada, Haney, even they all have them now. They all have them.
No, it was a big deal back then. Of course, changes, but. I'm always interested in how somebody gets into the sport of bodybuilding. And I know in your bio you were a high school athlete.
Yes.
What kind of sports did you play back then?
I was such a little jock. I was supposed to be the boy of the family, because that's why I was named Michelle, because I was supposed to be the Michael. Yeah. Believe it or not, I was the third girl. My Italian, the husband Italian. Where's the boy? Where's the boy? So I ended up coming out third. Another girl. So I was named Michelle for Michael, because my father's name was Michael, God rest his soul. And then unfortunately he passed away when I was only 6. But so I was very athletic. I had the build, and I just love sports. And I played them all. I did. My main gig was so I'm a baseball player. I love baseball. So I play softball. Yay for the Washington Nationals, because they just got the championship. I was so excited. I did volleyball. I didn't play basketball. I wasn't very good. I didn't swim. My friend with field hockey. That was fun.
Is that because you like knock people down or what?
Yeah, like hockey, but it was field hockey. Like knock people down with a stick.
Yeah, hurt people. Oh, I see what
we used to try to. We were some goofball girls. We were trying to balance a stick on her nose. And those were the days, okay, I'm gonna date myself here. In the 70s, when the girl jocks, we didn't have the jackets yet. Now the girls got the jackets, the little letter. We were just coming into getting the little symbols, for your jacket, the little thing. So I still have mine. Oh my God, I came across it the other day. I'm like, holy shit, I'm old.
You find all kinds of stuff when you move, huh?
Holy shit, I'm old. No. Yeah. So, but yeah, what else did I do? Tennis.
Okay. Tennis. So how did you end up getting into the sport of bodybuilding? How did that all happen?
So how that all happened was after college. I wasn't fat or nothing. I always felt like I was big. That was the thing. And I knew I had muscle because I studied that. I was physical education. So I'm like, oh man, what am I going to do now? That was when I was working for this cookie company called Grandma Buffalo's Cookies. And so anyway, it was in a mall in Salinas, California, and I had a girl that worked with me, and she goes, "Oh, it was attached, like a lot of them do, spa, fitness center, whatever it was called." And I go, "Oh, okay, well, I'll join with you." And I knew, because this was so cool. This just gives me goosebumps, because there was one man that would come once a month. It was like I didn't know anything about bodybuilding. And I knew he was muscular, and I knew I was muscular. So it was like he would come to get a cookie, and I don't know if he was scoping me out. And, he didn't say anything to me. He just would get his thing and go. And I'm like, God, that's kind of what I want to do. I knew I had muscle. So it was perfect timing. This girl goes, oh, she wanted just to lose weight. I said, okay, I'll join with you. I didn't want to go myself. So we started with aerobic, and that's where it happened. And then my first husband, he, discovered me or whatever, or they discovered me. It was that fellow and his wife, Tom and Sally Sims. I'll never forget. Yeah. And they were the shit and the bomb at the time, because that's when they had the couples. Remember they had the couples?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And it's like they were the bomb. And she only got into it because he was starting to do nudies, whatever, with other girl ladies, right? And she's going, oh, hell no. So she got in shape. And they ended up being, the couple, and and that's when women's bodybuilding started happening really strong. It was just at the end of Rachel, and Corey was coming in. So I saw it on TV, and I said, I want to do that. So that's it. And the rest is history, 1985. And I just, I was determined to get that damn pro card.
Yeah, but let me ask you this, though. When you first started training, did you learn yourself or somebody trained you?
Pretty much ourselves. That couple kind of taught us something. I knew stuff because I did a little bit of weight training. Weight training wasn't really a big thing for women at the time, but we still did some weight training for my sports. Yeah. And just kind of haphazardly learned through my first husband at the time, and who I ended up with one beautiful son, Kyle. He's 31 now. So we just kind of went along. We didn't have these trainers. We didn't have all this knowledge. But we did have the Wiener principles. Boom. Yeah. Remember the
oh yeah.
The Wiener principles.
Absolutely, man. So then you got into the sport that way. Then how long were you an amateur?
Oh my God. It took me, hold on to your hat, 25 freaking years. Really? And literally, I mean, in all seriousness, literally only took 3 years off. I took 1 year off because in the beginning, when I got my national status, ironically, the first year I got pregnant, and I said, okay, well, obviously I had to take the next year off. 1 year to do my gym. When I wanted to take time off. And another year, I had like 2 or 3 hernias. They weren't really from lifting, just I have, my surgeon said my fascia was just very loose. So I had to get, that repaired. And then the lifting didn't help. Yeah. But so that was it, literally. And then the next year, even after my son, I went right back. And I would get top 5 almost every year, every national, every USA. When the Masters start coming in 2007, I could not get this pro card. I would get seconds, thirds, fourths. Yeah. Okay. I'm the unsung hero. I mean, the unsung champ, because and I have to say that about myself. I had 6 second place. No one knows my history. A lot of people know. 6 second places. Six yeah. In the North American. Yeah. Crazy. 6 times though. In the North American. Okay, and this is it. The poster here, this picture here, finally get the win at the North American, but the overall is only one overall, one card. So now I'm like the light heavyweight. The heavyweight is amazing. She's this big, beautiful black woman with this back, and there's no way I'm gonna. So I didn't get it. I'm like, oh my God! I'm like, what do I gotta do? So I just persistent, because that's what I am. I'm an athlete, true athlete. Love the sport, determination, perseverance. All those cliches.
The thing about the bodybuilding sport, unlike some of the other sports, is that you compete. I don't know how many times you competed a year. I didn't compete that many.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you don't have. I mean, it's not like you're going to compete every week until you get it. You could maybe compete twice or 3 times.
Right.
So when you don't make it, it's like, well, shit, I got to wait till next year.
Right, exactly. I would do too, because what happened was I would always think, okay, let's try to get it. As I got older and I wasn't getting it, I said, okay, well, let's do this Masters. But every Masters, they're like me. They're all, mature muscle and good bodybuilders. Yeah. I could not get it. And it was like crazy. So I was just so persistent. But my fallback was always what's called the North American. Gary Udit here in the East Coast is the one that has been having it for years now. It's a 4-day show now. It's crazy.
What's his name? Gary what?
Gary Udit.
I don't know who he is. Did he put on anything like in Pennsylvania?
Oh my God, he's like, he's the crony here with Mannion and all they're the ones that started it back here.
I did the Masters National in Pennsylvania, and I think he was the one that put that on.
Oh yeah, that was him. That was me. I did maybe we did the show together one year. Who knows? We might have been there. Yeah, I did it so many years. So that my fallback show was the North American. So I would do maybe 2. Once in a great while, I would try all 3, like maybe the USA, but that's hard. It's very hard. 2 was okay because, maybe not quite peaked. And then the North American, I actually always looked better. But it was hard because women bodybuilding, it's hard. It was only 1 card, 4 classes, 1 overall, and now it's 2 pro cards for all these classes. Even nationals, they have second place. Second place, that's not like
that's kind of times. After a while, you're going to see with everybody will get a participation
That's what I feel like. Second place is, they're second best. Who wants to be second best?
Do that.
But anyway, so I consistently did it, and I got it finally. Oh God, what year? Not really that long ago. 2012. It took 25 freaking years. I literally from 1986 to 2012. So here's the graph.
I would say that's a really good example of discipline, determination, and passion. I mean, who in the hell would want to do that for? Keep going back and tolerating it.
I go, what do they? Because the old saying out here, what are you nuts? I go, no, I just I put so much dedication for all those years. I just and that's a true champ. I'm sorry,
No, it is.
You know what I mean? I mean,
completely agree with you. And with that being said, bodybuilding to the average person is highly misunderstood, and that as well as I.
Right.
It's like, and how could they possibly understand that unless they were actually doing what we were doing? Because
correct.
I was in a relationship, my first one, and I would hear things like, "Why don't you just be normal? Why are you doing this?" And
what's normal?
Yeah, what's normal?
Right? What's normal? Right?
Yeah.
I know, but that's the beauty of it. I ironically had even my ex-husband and the fellow I was with. I always did ironically have long relationships, but they all understood it. But then it was weird. I don't know. Something would happen. But my husband now, Mr. Bill Brent, he's an amazing man. He actually met me at the USA and introduced himself. I didn't know who, I don't remember, but he gets it because he's in the sport. He loves the sport himself.
That helps.
And he's in the corporate world. He's the best of both worlds. He's in the corporate world, does his thing, during the day, and then loves to. I even got him to recompete, and he looked amazing himself a few years ago. Yeah. So it's great because he's just such a cheerleader. I mean, he's so happy and excited that I'm, going to get back on stage next year.
Yeah.
So and then I'll roll into that. So.
The sport of bodybuilding is really interesting because well, the thing about it is it gets such a strong reaction from people. People come in and they'd say to me, and they look at a photo and they go, "Oh, that's gross," And
right. But they're curious.
They're not only curious, but I think secretly they wish that they could actually do something similar to that,
Right.
Like
exactly.
if I wanted to be mean, I would say, "Don't worry, you'll never get like that." I mean,
I know.
You don't realize how much
you don't understand.
They don't realize it, But it's just really interesting the strong response that it gives to people. Anything from "Oh my God, that's beautiful" to "Oh my God, that's gross."
Yeah. You know what? In all my career of 35 years, let's just say the last 20 or so, to be realistic, I've really never. Maybe because of my demeanor and my stature and just the way I carry myself, I've maybe a handful of people but for the most part, I've always got, and especially as I'm getting older, it's more positive because now they're going to go, "Oh, wow, you're what?" And I go, "Yeah, I'm 62 years old. I said it." And I go, "No way. I mean, could I still, sure, So my women clients that I did have before I left, they were just just excited just to, to say, "Oh God, I mean, I could, of course, obviously don't want to, have the muscle I have, but they're excited that they could, get in shape and still, look halfway decent." And then, you know what? Then I ended up with, I don't know, a couple ladies. "Oh, I want to compete. And then I want to try." So it's a goal for these women.
Well, and they're the people,
Yeah. Now they have this different, go ahead.
Oh, they have the different divisions. I know.
Yeah.
But
so they have the different divisions.
Bodybuilding. When I got into bodybuilding, what I did not know was how creative I was. I had no idea. In school, I never took any art classes. I didn't think of playing sports and football as a creative act. I didn't. But then as I was longer in the sport, I realized that, hey, I am basically my own block of clay. And I'm creating something based on what I think looks good. I don't know if you've saw it that way yourself.
Number one, like I was saying earlier, it's like I never thought my wildest dreams I would get on stage, in front of people and be judged, my body judged. But when I got there, and the first time, the creativity of, like I said, the posing, and that's more like, okay, building and having my body all shaped to where, like you're saying, a statue, and then being able to pose. It was so interesting, so very interesting. And I was in the days, and he was, God rest his soul, a good friend, very good friend of mine at Corny, was one of the greats,
I knew Ed. Yeah, I knew. I saw him at the very end when he was in the wheelchair. Yeah, sad.
Yeah. He wanted to marry me. I think he wanted to marry every woman. But he was, so just the point where, molding the body and performing, after that, that's what really, when I was saying earlier, got me interested in it, because it's like, okay, I'm doing this weight training and grunting in the gym, and that's the hard work and everything. And the posing is very, very elegant, you can make the mandatories elegant, but for the most part, the men are retarded. And I was like, why do you have to make stupid faces, right? Yeah. So when the women came along in the very beginning, it was amazing, because they said, oh, look at these beautiful statuesque women, even though I'm only 5'4", or 5'4", and 5'4", yeah, that's what but anyway, so it's like statuesque, and you could use this really pretty posing, and the creativity of that after molding the body is
I mean, and even I think what became a challenge for me, again, this is a creative act, but it's like, okay, so I molded this for one show. I was the artist that molded my body for this show, and then it was like, okay, I saw what I looked like, and then I thought, okay, this is where I need to fix this. I need to mold, and I think that part of it was actually what really got. So I'm so competitive. It's like, okay, I'm going to fix that, and of course, it's going to, like you mentioned earlier in the show, it's going to take. I have to wait another 6 months or 8 months, maybe a year, before I can see my work. Because you really find out what you really look like on stage. I don't know. I think it has to do with being more objective, after seeing yourself after the show is over and you get the photos. Because I think sometimes it's really hard to be objective when you're in the moment, even if you have coaching.
Right, correct. And I think, you hit the nail on the head with me personally, why I stayed in it so long, because it was like, okay, I want to change that. I want to make it better. And I got to, and then I don't know until, like you said, you're in the quote unquote off season. And then, you need to, just the curiosity too of it. Of how did I change myself? How am I going to look? So people don't understand a lot.
Well, they don't. How could they possibly understand that?
No. Yeah, it's just like they just don't get that part. They don't understand.
And I had such a range of emotions, because after a show, it was like, oh shit, I could have done better, and I have to wait a whole freaking year. Once I got past that, I was like, okay, I'm back in. I got the rabbit hole bodybuilding mindset. I can do this now. But
okay, my question is, before you go on, so when are you going to get back on stage?
You mean a bodybuilding stage?
Yeah.
The health season's over.
Yeah.
I'm done. You know what? I loved it. And I don't know if you know this, but this is not necessarily the reason why I won't do it. But 7 years ago, I had 3 strokes in 3 weeks that paralyzed me.
Oh, wow.
In fact, I was 2 months away from a show.
Yeah, wow.
Let me tell you something, Michelle. It has very little to do with that. Here's my personality, because I've gotten into different. I got into cycling, and I get into these sports that are really, they're just something I have passion for. When that comes out, I'm done. I still love the game, but for me to want to get up on stage again, it's just not, as you know, it's got to be heart and soul.
Right.
I have one of those two, but not both.
Right. Yeah. No, I know it's a loaded question, but I knew that I wasn't done. And it's like, I'm so, I mean, all seriousness, very, very thankful, because in all my career, I've never had quote unquote metabolic damage. That's the genre, the buzzwords of this decade. I've never broken a bone in all the sports, never tore, maybe a slight tears. Like I did have a hamstring tear that did debilitate me in my last show, which was freak. Yeah. It was a freak thing that happened. I'm just so thankful. Never had, always had my physicals done. I've just been very, very, very lucky. I don't know what the word you want to use. That's,
And the thing about that is you got to be lucky and good,
and good and genetic, and genetics too. I mean, like my biological dad passed away with a heart attack, but his wasn't congenital. It wasn't like hereditary. It was just not taking care of himself. Right. So just I've been very, very lucky with my family history. So, and smart with, quote unquote, my supplement programs every year, and, or just the diet, the train, everything.
Yeah. No.
So I've been one of the few that I'm just very thankful. So I might as well give it another run next year. Why not? They brought back women's bodybuilding to the Ms. Olympia. And this is a subject I really want to broach on, is that women's bodybuilding never went away. They always want to try to get rid of it some way. I don't know why. What sport ever is, wants to try to get the female part of it away from their, soccer, but whatever sport it is. So what happened was there was a fellow named Jake Woods from Wings of Strength. Now, this is the little bracelet I wanted to get at. This is their colors. Okay. And their little wings there. See the little wings? Oh, yeah. Him and his wife at the time, 5 years ago, 2014 was the last time on Ms. Olympia. And they said, we don't want it anymore. Arnold already took it out. He doesn't care for the sport either. He's already made it blatant that he's like, I don't like the way the men look now. They look so, they're so big.
Arnold, is that you?
I know, right? I'm pretty good at it. So anyway, so it's stronger than ever. They announced it at the this Olympia, that they're bringing it back. We do have what's called Wings of Strength Championship, Rising Phoenix, which this fellow Jake Woods from Thousand Oaks, he's got, he's the money guy. He's our backer. And he supports all the divisions, but mainly he wanted to support the women bodybuilders. So in 5 years, he's gone strong. And they just had the Romanian championship. It was amazing. The production has gotten better. He had all the divisions, even the men, and the women are stronger than ever. And we have a lot of international girls involved. He supports a lot of the girls that say they can't come here, which, is okay by me. If they're champions, they're top 5 or top 10 girl, why not? Support them. Get them over here. And it's amazing. So that's what I think helped resurge my energy and thought to come back on stage. So I'm back.
Yeah, that's a great thing. But let me ask you, with what you said as far as the women's taking the women, like it seemed like they just wanted to take that part of the sport out. Why do you think that is? Do you think it was just that people weren't ready for? Listen, I think that you have a beautiful physique. I do. There's no question about it. And I really appreciate, like I said, the time that you put into it.
Thank you.
But do you think that it's too much? Like people aren't ready for a woman that looks like somebody like muscular like you, or what?
This is the 21st century. We've been around for 35 years. It started with, like I said, Rachel, and then they had Pumping Iron 2, where you had Bev come from Australia. She wasn't even a bodybuilder. And then they give her she was a powerlifter. And they gave her pro card after because she was popular. Yeah. And it got popular, even with her muscularity. Yeah. Now, granted, did it get a little crazy within like the mid 90s? Yes, it did. I have a catch, love, hate, catch 22, whatever you want to say, thing with it too. Cause it's fine. It can be fine balance. I even say, oh God, wow. But it depends on the whole ball of wax. Yeah. Is she, let's face it, if she's a little prettier, it does help. Does she carry herself right? Does she have pretty symmetry? Does she act feminine? Yeah. Makeup, hair, the whole thing. I could see where you have a woman that's like, looks, I would do the same thing, saying, ugh. But to the most part, it's sexy. I think we're full. Our muscles are full. I mean, our body, the beautiful curve in the glutes and the hams and the quads. I mean, come on.
Oh yeah. I mean, we're gonna put your photo up. When we air this thing, because that it's just like you're beautiful. I mean,
thank you.
Muscle and
stuff. I won't cry.
No, it's true.
No, well, I'm very sensitive in the sense that it's my passion. I love it. I've been doing it for 30, and I'm just always an athlete anyway. And when you have an athlete, as you know, you just got passion. You just, like my damn 49ers lost. What happened last night? What happened? I went to bed and like woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning. I go, son of a bitch.
Exactly.
A minute 20 left and they lost. You know?
So tell me this, because I had my own issues with the sport. Okay. So like you said, you know, when you get into something like this, you have to have a lot of passion, a lot of drive. There's a lot of me. Was there collateral damage in your life because of bodybuilding? Like for me, to be honest with you, I think that the sport, just because I was on the road all the time, I think that I was always a really good dad.
Okay, good.
But with regards to being a spouse, I was gone on the road a lot of times, and it was about me. I was with a person that wasn't athletic. And I would tell you that my first marriage, in part, I think, had to do with the sport that I was in. And
go ahead.
Collateral damage, at least from Was there any of that with you?
It can happen. I believe it's going to happen. It's going to happen in any sport that's got the passion. Look what happened to Tiger Woods. So but we're talking bodybuilding though. Yeah, it can happen. I was very fortunate. My first marriage, he was totally into it, but it's very interesting because after the fact, now he's been married to his second wife, fifth or whatever, very long time. And she worked out, but not like into the sport. Yeah. So I come to find later on, and we had the one son. And ironically, we were divorced a year after he was born. And I don't think it was the bodybuilding. I don't know what it was with him because he loved it too. I think maybe with me, now I'm just dissecting as I'm talking, is that maybe I was better than him, and he just maybe in his little head, he wasn't saying that, because he couldn't do bodybuilding. So he got into powerlifting. Yeah. And I think it might have hurt a little bit. Maybe I, like you, I was a wonderful mom. Even after we're divorced, I tried everything with my son. I said, let's try a sport. If you don't want, okay. So instrument in high school, okay, you don't want. So I always gave him that.
Yeah.
Very supportive. I always used, when I did my show, I worked it where, okay, Robert, that was his dad's name. I said, this is my 2 weeks vacation, your 2 weeks time, 2, 3, or whatever you had in the summer. Now you have them. Now, okay, great. This is what I'm doing. So I would work it where I would do my show at the same time. Yeah. Now that's getting a little bit off track, but meaning that I tried to be, well-rounded. And I thought I was. The couple of relationships I had after them, which were ironically long, maybe a little bit with the bodybuilding, it kind of bothered them after a little bit. But the funny thing is, they all lifted themselves. I never had a relationship with it, and it just happened, that happenstance.
Well, I mean, listen, if you...
It takes a lot of time.
Stats, I mean, 50% of people that get married, divorce anyway. I mean,
right?
I just wondered if, I'm basically talking from my own personal experiences.
Right, yeah.
The other thing that I found that was kind of interesting was that this is my opinion. I personally think that the sport of bodybuilding is not healthy over the long haul. And the reason why, that I think I'm going to be talking about.
Right.
It's a type of sport that is it's all built on extreme behavior. At least it was for me.
Yeah. Oh,
no. On top of that,
totally correct.
Yep. And then on top of that, there were performance enhancements that I was using. And so I just found that to be really interesting. And yet if I hadn't gotten into the sport of bodybuilding, because as you know, you have to know everything to the nth degree about nutrition.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
If it wasn't for the sport, I wouldn't have recovered from my strokes. That's the really
correct.
In a way,
Yeah. No, true. Yeah. And I'll add to that, which is I totally agree. The extremes of it. Once again, we got extreme sport. You got mountaineers, extremists, So
yeah.
But this, I mean, you're high level baseball players. You're totally extreme. But we're talking extreme with bodybuilding. Yes, I totally agree. I think if the person knows what they're doing and and you have your extremes, but if you know what you're doing, you can make it where you don't make that extreme affect your life, affect you physically or mentally. Because I had my share of, gear too. Let's just face it. I mean, come on, I can't get, genetics went only so far, and then, but I always did it correctly and smart. Yeah, it's very extreme. And then it was, okay, I leveled off. And I was just very fortunate that I learned, we didn't have all this YouTube and all these coaches and all this, which some of them, most of them don't know what the hell they're talking about anyway. Yes. But I was very lucky that
and let me tell you, even the fact that it was extreme, and I was on, when I first started training, I wanted to see how far I could go naturally. In fact, I wrote training based for the natural athlete, to take it as far as you could. And I don't condone drug use, but I took them, because I got to a certain point in my career that I had to make a choice.
Correct.
I either had to stop, or I had to make the choice to take the drugs and get into that side of it. I had people tell me, Michelle, back then, that, you sold out and all this stuff. And I thought, you know what? You have your opinion and fuck off. That's okay. But the truth of the matter is this, and here's what most people don't realize. I made that choice because I also realized that competing in the natural events, although they have natural events now that are being tested differently through WADA, but I also realized that just because I was competing in a natural show didn't mean that I was competing with athletes that were all natural. That was
correct. Correct. It's so full of shit. I know. Most of them,
I mean, and what am I supposed to do? Stop competing now or what?
Right. And drug testing so damn expensive. Don't you bullshit. You know how much one P test would cost for each athlete? It's like $300 a pop, okay?
Yeah, they're just jerking off their mouth when they say that kind of stuff, But no, I just, and here's the funny thing about this, and so I took that kind of with a grain of salt. And I have to tell you, I have feelings like the rest of us do. When people said that, it hurt my feelings. It really did. But I thought, you know what?
Yeah.
They don't understand. And I'll tell you something that's really funny about this, because I've trained a lot of professional athletes over the years, and I have firsthand experience. There are a lot of drugs in baseball and football and everything.
Oh, please! I was in the midst of when baseball with McGuire, and I was working for Gold's Gym. I had a gal named I don't know if you remember the name, Tegan Clive. She was very blonde.
I think so.
Big Amazonian-looking woman. She was the one that they thought she was going into a women's bathroom. Thought she was a man, and it was, that was one of the first. So anyway, she worked for Iron Man when it was the real Iron Man. And I hate to be facetious, but anyway, I am, because it's not Iron Man anymore. I don't know what it is, but anyway, to the point, it was like she called. It was so bizarre. So she called. It was I had my own. I actually didn't tell you this, but I did have my own little gym for about 5 years. Then I closed shop, and then I worked for the local Goals, which was literally up the street. And it was Reggie Jackson was one of the managers. He's like part manager, and ended up owning the whole thing. I'm not the manager owner, and that was the time. Yeah, when the ball players, it was crazy.
Well,
so they go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and those same people that were bagging on me,
right?
They're willing to watch these sports, and they don't realize that, hey, you're watching guys that are and girls or whatever that are doing the same damn thing because you're almost forced to do that.
Right.
So, and then it leads me into the organizations say just what you said. Well, we drug test, but it's bullshit drug testing. They let the guys know when they're going to be testing them, and they use excuses like it's too expensive. No, it's about the money.
Right.
Let's just be real about this, because I guess if they really wanted to be serious about that, but they know that these organizations, they're in the business of entertaining, and they're going to put the best product that's out there. You
just wait until, like I was saying earlier, you just wait when Dwayne Johnson puts his show. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be in Georgia, and it's going to be like the big one. So who wants to see they want to see the mass monsters. Yeah. They want to see the Kai Greens, and they want to see, Phil Hill come back. Who was really, this Rolly Winkler kid. Now he's just getting huge. I mean, they want to see that.
Yeah.
So they want to see the women too. That's what cracks me up, because when so many people say, "What the hell?" I said, "We had plenty of people come watch us. They had this justification. We weren't selling enough tickets." I said, "Oh, go blow a poop." You're just, So it's about muscle. It's like it's bodybuilding. Bodybuilding.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's a fine line.
Bodybuilding.
Building. You know?
Anyway.
Not bikini. No. But anyway, yeah, so that's a fine line with that. Like I said, I'm just honest and transparent. I've done my share. I probably will do more. I mean, it's like, come on, I mean, shoot.
Why not?
Why not? Why not, right?
Part of the reason that,
look at this.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I'm in awe. Believe me. Well, part of the reason why I got back into the bodybuilding side, because I said years and years ago in the 80s, we were producing training courses and we were heavy to the bodybuilding scene. And then we went out because we were niche marketers, but we're back in again. And the podcasting is sort of the way back into
We're back, exactly.
And I don't know. One of the reasons why I wanted to come back also is because of what you said earlier, is that there's so much misinformation out there. And I think social media has, to an extent, it's a good thing, but I tell you what, it brings out the Looney Tunes, the people that are out there. Some of these people that are advising people,
it's crazy.
You don't know.
I want to pull my hair out.
Yeah, you're in dangerous hands.
It's ludicrous. Like I was saying earlier, these little newbies, they're these. And I don't want to be facetious about it, but it's so damn true. The social media sensations. What the frick is that? They do one show. They're going YouTube or they're not YouTube or Instagram. Oh yeah, I'm a coach now. Come coach with me. And I'm like, what?
And then the thing that cracks me up, and maybe I'm jealous, I don't know, or insecure. It cracks me up because I see some of these idiots that are out there, and they got this huge fucking following. I'm thinking, what the hell?
I know. I do the same thing, but that's
talking BS. I guess you just got to learn how to play the game. I guess.
I don't know.
But at the heart of it, the reason why I come out and I'm mad about this and I expose it, for what it is because listen, I've been in the sport. I've been in the personal training business for a long time. And I know that if you don't know what you're doing, you're putting your client at risk.
Exactly. Yeah, let me get my little head. Yeah, so I know, and this is why I want to. It helps me, and it not helps me, but it makes me want to stay in it to be like a coach that knows what the fuck I'm doing. You know
exactly.
So, hello, Virginia. I'm here. I'm gonna school you, but so that's another crazy subject.
Oh man, I could just go off on that kind of stuff.
Oh God.
Let's go ahead and wrap this thing up. Let's talk about you're going to go ahead and compete in the Olympia. When is that going to be now?
Okay, well, hopefully we'll get there, but that is a whole other animal. But just the thought of it being able to maybe get there, even by say points, because you get the show and you get the winner, and now they got this point system where you do enough shows and you accumulate and you're added to the roster. Yeah. But so I'm excited. They got a new show coming. We got this schedule up for the women bodybuilders. We're hoping to get it back in New York Pro. I don't see it yet. From the horse's mouth, Jake Wood, he said that they're trying to get it there. But the first one of the year is, I get goosebumps. Look at my little goosebumps. Look at my forearm. Look at that forearm.
I'm jealous. You're making me feel really bad about myself. Knock that shit off.
This is genetic. This is all this. Boom. Look at that. Look at that, baby.
For real.
This is what it's about, right?
Is that your leg? It's your arm. Never mind.
That's my arm, right? Right. That's my arm. That's my arm. I know. Man. I'm back. I'm back.
Really feeling bad about myself. Can you help me?
Yeah, right? Come on down.
So anyway, so when the first show?
Savannah, Georgia. They have a brand new show in Savannah, Georgia, and it's early in April, and I'm there. All right. And guess what? What I'm doing it to?
What?
My Way by Frank Sinatra.
Oh, beautiful. I like that.
Yeah, baby. I already got my music cut. When I get my music cut already, I know I'm serious because I choreograph, Yeah. So, hey, what song but My Way? So
it's fitting. Let me say
Frankie. Yeah, So just Savannah, Georgia, April 11th. And then there's another Linda Murray here, it's 7 or 8 times she won Olympia. She has her own show. She puts her own shows on Norfolk, and I want to do her show in July.
Yeah.
So
very cool.
That's my thoughts.
I wish you a lot of luck. You're really.
Thank you.
You've been a very entertaining and.
I told you.
Yeah.
Maybe I come work for you.
Listen, I want to ask you for our viewers, do you have any you want to send people to Michelle's Morsels? What can
Yes. You know what? The best is I got my website. I know it's a mouthful, but it's Michelle's Magic Morsels and more.com. Okay. So it's Michelle's Magic Morsels. You know, Magic Morsels are my cookies, but also that's Sean. Go away, Sean. Go away. And Instagram, you know, like we were saying earlier, the social media. My Instagram is easy. IFBB Pro, everyone. Michelle Brent, my name.
Okay.
MIC. Yeah, I think it's right up there. Where am I? Can't see it. Here I am. There I am. Boom, right there.
Okay.
And what else? Oh, and then Facebook is just my name. I make everything simple. Michelle Brent.
Okay.
So
that sounds.
Yeah, contact me for any of my jewelry. Look at this cool baby. This is all beaded by me.
If you've got something that you can make for me, that'll.
I will.
That'll give me a good attitude. I'm all over it. You better have something really strong because I have a bad attitude a lot of times.
Okay.
I'm old and angry now. I'm older than you are, by the way.
No, you're not. No.
I'm going to be 65. How am I still walking?
Really? Yeah. When's your birthday? Yeah.
I mean, I still train every day. I still go in. I'm going to say like Platts used to say, I'm just an old guy having fun in the gym now. And I'm having a lot of fun.
I love it. I'm having a blast because all these little guys are going, what the hell? Yeah. But this is some of my stuff. Check this out. This is my 49er one. Nice. I do all kinds. Of custom. Whatever stones you like, colors, let me know. Text me them. And then we'll do something strong. Yeah. Black and silver. The hematite and onyx are always the good colors.
So after I wear this bracelet, I will become better looking, younger, and with a good.
Oh yeah, and you're gonna train. You're gonna be Rocky.
Gonna coast for life. Anyway, okay, Michelle. Well, listen. Nice meeting you. Nice talking to you. And
you too.
Luck, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Let's stay in touch, kiddo.
Let me know when you're out on the West Coast.
Oh yeah, I will. December. I'll tell you. December, I'll be there. Okay.
Sounds good. Take care.
Bye.